This is Susan Wilbanks with blendedinsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic. Hey, bright soul. Thank you so much for joining me again on today's podcast. Hey, happy full moon. We got a full moon today. And happy July. Halfway through the year. That's a good feeling, right? I know this year's been tough, but guess what? You're showing up, you're persevering, you're making it through, and you're still on the higher path to do your very best, which is really good. So congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back. We are pushing through and we're making it. We're surviving, we're thriving, we're influencing change, whether we realize it or not. So I wanted to start off by saying that. Also, you may notice today we've got a full moon and we also have an eclipse. So this is really stirring things up and it's shifting things in a more focused direction. So wherever, it doesn't matter if you believe in astrology or not, if you follow it. I'm not an astrologer. I'm definitely not an expert. But as I've shared in previous podcasts, I follow astrology because it's information to help us have some foresight and know what's going on so we can work with the planets as opposed to just being dragged along. So for me, I always want to get in the flow and work with the energy so that I can make the very best of it. And that's why I show up here and do this podcast. I want to give you energy tools, practical tools, and share what I've learned so that we can pull each other along, support each other on this path, and together make a positive change in the world. I mean, that's really the whole point. So last week I had a great week. Felt so much better last week. Sunday, I really felt the shift, and I know that we had some planetary shifts going on. But I'd shared in my previous podcast that I was feeling so petty and so out of character and just wanting to hold people accountable for things that they aren't going to accept responsibility for. So it was really, there's no point. But I was still feeling it. And instead of resisting it, I allowed myself to have those feelings and also gave myself permission to be a human because I'm not perfect. I'm a human. I'm going to have human experiences, but I'm going to pick myself up, get back on the spiritual path, make amends, do the very best that I can, and keep moving forward. So last week, I just felt so much more like myself, did a lot of really deep cleansing and meditation practices, had tough workouts at Orange Theory and embraced it. And I'm just feeling so good. And I know that there's so many changes going on and I know that it's tough, but I feel so grounded and so blessed to be here with you. I'm so grateful for this community and for those of you that have shared my work, support my work, just the community in general. I'm just so incredibly grateful. So I wanted to just share what's going on planetary wise and how to work with it just to try to give us a regroup because this is what I've been personally doing and it's really helped me. So I want to help you do the same. In this tumultuous time, and right now just working with the planetary energy, it's really important to have some type of vision to pull you forward. And so the way that I've been doing that is looking at what is my higher vision? Because in uncertain times, it's very easy to just slip into despair and not feel as though you have a direction for your life. And without a direction, we get in a very stagnant state. Stagnation occurs. So I've always been, I learned a long time ago and it's always worked for me and I've always followed the actual notion that action cures despair. So if you have something to work toward in times of uncertainty, your vision can help to give you direction and pull you along. So every year at the beginning of the year, I kind of sit and set goals for myself. What do I want to achieve this year? Where do I want to focus my energy? How can I create a plan to make that happen? And I reassess it, every month, every 2 months, just depends on where I'm at and how big the vision is, how big the goals are. And with what's going on in the world, I know that's been challenging for people because perhaps the things that you were working toward just completely got taken off of the table because you're unable to do those things based on worldly events. And so what is your higher vision? That's the thing that I've been focusing on. What do I want to do? How do I want to serve the world? And I mean, the things like spirit-driven goals, is what I'm kind of focused on here. But things like health goals, that's important. Those are physical things, and you need to have your physical body in order to serve others. And self-care, all those things are really important. What do you want to create financially? All that's really important. But in times of uncertainty, the way that I do is I just lean on what's my higher vision. What is the legacy that I want to leave in the world? And for me personally, really all I want to do is leave the world better than the way that I found it. In my everyday interactions, the way I interact with people. So my personal intention is, let me be a light in the world. When people spend time with me, I want them to feel better when I leave than the way that they felt when I came. I want to uplift people, inspire people. And it isn't something that I try to do. It's something that I embody inside myself. So I feel as though if I am doing all of my meditation practices and my spiritual work, also staying very grounded, one of the things that my close friends and families always tell me is that I'm a funny person because I understand human impulses and I embrace those in myself and imperfections. And I can basically use humor to lighten the mood and to make fun of myself and humanity, because it is kind of funny when you think about it. And through laughter is so good for your body. It just instantly boosts your serotonin levels. It releases your energy field. It's just an amazing thing that we can do naturally. And so I use humor mostly, but also because I am doing my spiritual practices and keeping my energy centers very clean, and I do have a spiritual awareness. I'm super intuitive. I can also speak life into people when they are having a difficult time. So I don't walk around trying to be deep or spiritual or, it isn't that. It's something that I embody in myself. And so when I see a positive quality in someone, I speak it out. And what I've learned over the years is some people have a really hard time receiving that, because my energy is powerful and clean. I've had people in my life where I speak a positive word to them and it makes them uncomfortable because it's penetrating deep into their psyche in a way that they maybe haven't received in themselves, or they have a lot of healing to do. So that's my personal goal. And so that's why I have this YouTube channel where I put out all of this material for free as an act of service. It's something that I like to share because I want to actually put good things out on this airwaves. On the internet world, there's so much stuff that's just bringing people down and angering people. And so my whole goal with this YouTube channel, my podcast, is to actually put out high vibrational material from a pure intent, from my pure heart, from active service. And that's what propels me in these difficult times. So even if everything's not going well in my world, I know that I can still be used to light up the world in some small way. So what I would ask you to do is just see, what is your higher vision? Is it, I really want to help people who are homeless. I mean, that's a passion of mine. I really want to help empower women. I want to help empower men. I have a heart for children. Whatever it is, and this doesn't require money, it's an intent. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's something simple as just noticing throughout the day someone who could really use a kind word or a kind gesture. It doesn't have to be anything huge. And I even carry this with me when I go work out. One of my last workouts, someone beside me, she was really struggling, and we were doing jump squats, which are really tough. And we were on number 95 or something of the jump squats. And she was hollering out in fatigue, ugh, the poor thing. And I intentionally directed energy, strength toward her and gave her a positive word. And she absolutely propelled through the remainder of those jump squats. And so it's just little things like that, And so the way that I start my day is saying, how may I serve? And then I ask Spirit, please use me. Just use me. I am happy to be an open vessel for good. How may I serve? The prayer of St. Francis of Assisi is a great one to use. And the way that I find that shows up is earlier in the week, I'm doing my meditation practice in the morning and I'm getting words for friends of mine. And I just reach out and say, hey, you came up in meditation. Is everything okay? Or here's what I got in meditation for you. It's always accurate and they appreciate it. And so I just wanted to encourage you to just redirect and look at that. And then just refocus on what it is that you want to work through, what you can control, and make little steps toward that every single day so that you still feel as though you are making the best of this really difficult year. The other thing I wanted to share, and this is kind of on topic, but it's something that I've been asked a lot over the last couple months, is you can't affect someone else's free will choice. And so I know the energy is heavy, and I've had a lot of inquiries regarding how can I stop other people from doing whatever it is that they're doing. You can't. So don't even focus your energy on trying to control someone else. What you can do is bless them with love, vibrate higher, get your energy field really bright and clear and clean, and then have compassion for people for where they are. I think I shared with a soul sister client of mine a couple months ago that I was spending time with someone who was of a very low vibration, but there was something about that exchange that was necessary. And I don't know what it is, but I was just following my intuition, enjoy the person's company, but that person wasn't doing anything spiritually. In fact, the person claimed to be agnostic. That's fine. If you're agnostic, agnostic people believe nothing can be proven. Well, Master Co of Pranic Healing used to be agnostic until he learned pranic healing. So for me, if you're agnostic, it's like, okay, well, at some point, you may be there your whole life, but at some point you might be open to something else. So, and I respect people for where they are. I never try to push anything. And this person didn't know me as an energy healer. This person just met me as a regular person, as a veteran. So as we spent time together, we would enjoy our time together. But then when I would leave, he would say, I am so exhausted. It takes me days to recover after spending time with you. And I thought, God, that's kind of offensive. Like, I'm so fun and lighthearted. We don't talk about anything deep. We just laugh and watch shows together and eat. Really, that's all we ever do. So what in the world is so exhausting about that? And I thought, I think he personally is just tired and he's blaming it on me, which is fine. No worries. Like, I'm not going to worry about it. Well, then every single time we would come together, it'd be the same thing, to where he says, well, I think I can only see you very occasionally, because when you and I spend time together, I'm exhausted. It takes me days to recover. And then if I see you multiple times during 1 week, I just can't function. Now I'm offended. I'm just straight up offended. I have never exhausted anyone. That is insane. So I talked to a master healer who works with people that do healing. That I work with privately sometimes. And I ask questions and he says, well, Susan, if you sit in the sun too long, you're going to get exhausted. And I said, okay. He said, you're just so bright. And what's happening is your aura, the more that you do this work, your aura is so big and you're so bright that individuals are attracted to your light, but then their physical body can't absorb it all. And it takes them days to integrate. And he had shared a time when he went to a weekend retreat healing. And he said he slept for 2 weeks after, because his body was trying to absorb that healing. So he was telling me there's two things you can do. You can continue to go around him and wait for his body to catch up. And eventually he'll adjust to your vibration. It'll raise his vibration, whether he's conscious of it or not. And then he'll be able to spend more time with you. You won't get so tired. That's the first thing you can just do. Ride it out. The second thing you do is dim your light and go down to his level so that he won't be fatigued by you. And I'm sharing that because I'm not dimming my light for anyone. If you're going to come around me, you're going to get the fullness of who I am and the work that I've done, because I want to continue to ascend higher. I don't want to go down. And so in this particular scenario, the more we spent time together, the less tired he became. And then when the events of the world started getting really shifty, he just nosedived into just darkness. And so the spirit told me at this time, this guy doesn't want to do any work. You guys are complete vibrational mismatches. I mean, there's just no way that unless he does something, because I'm continuing to ascend. See, that's what you have to realize when you're on this path. I'm not standing still. I mean, when I post this on July 5th, I'm in a class with Master Co, achieving oneness with the higher soul, with the intent of making my spiritual cord even bigger, pulling down more spiritual light and energy so that I can blast it to the world, because it's important that I ascend, take advantage of this time on earth, and show up and live my purpose on this planet. So either you get in the boat and you come with me, or I'm going to leave you on the shore. And that's just the way it is. I will not stunt my progress for anyone. And I don't want you to do that either, because the point of you being here is to help change and shift this world, starting with yourself. And so I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. And so it was really interesting. So the higher I'm getting, at first he was getting a little bit better. And then the more I started pulling in, then he just got out of the boat. Like, he can't handle it anymore. And so then he started becoming ugly toward me. And you always know, I talked in a previous podcast about milligrams of love, which is what Dr. Mario Martinez talks about. Negative people can only absorb so much positivity before they start becoming ugly, because they've had enough milligrams of love. They're full now, so then they turn on you. And he started getting kind of mean. And I'm like, whoop, skirt, hold on. I don't think so. I'm not going to put up with that. Because it was for no reason other than just he's feeling like crap. And my energy is bright and vibrant. And there's an element of that that's appealing to him that he wants. But he won't meet me, so he just cuts it off. And I wanted to share that because I know some of you have had similar experiences, especially here recently in these tumultuous times. And it could be with anyone, friends, family, partners, children, whoever, coworkers. I know you've had the experiences because you and I have talked about it personally. So I felt it was important to share this. You're not doing anything wrong. I want you to know that. And if your higher vision is to continue to ascend and be a positive, beneficial presence on this planet, then you have to stay your course. Everyone, see, it's a codependent trait that a lot of empaths kind of confuse sometimes when we want everyone to come with us. Everyone's not going to come with you on this path, but guess what? Beings of a similar vibration, or beings that you're supposed to impact and meet and partner with on your path, they'll be waiting for you at the next level. So continue to go to that next level. And maybe these people will show up sometime later down the line. Maybe not. But you can rest assured that you've done your job. It's important to keep your boundaries, keep your path in view, and stay on your path, and let others do as they choose. Let them respect their free will choice. Let them do whatever it is that they're going to do. I know for me, I'm not going to let any world event impact my spiritual practice. I'm not going to allow it to take me off of my path, because the soul lives on. This human experience is temporary, but whatever evolution that I create with my soul is going to go with me. And so it's important. So I hope that helps. I just want to encourage you, keep shining, stay on this path. It's important. And I apologize if I repeat myself. I'm repeating it because it's important. Some things have to be repeated for special emphasis. And I'm also running healing at the same time. So it's penetrating deep into your soul. And I hope it's creating some type of healing and some type of validation. I hope it resonates with you. So let's do a healing. I just want to help you to pull down that higher purpose and focus on it. And know you're supported. And I know this can feel like a very lonely time, but guess what? I'm here, and everyone that's connected to this page is here, and your higher beings are here, your spiritual helpers, your ancestors. You have more support than you realize that you have. You just have to tap into it and get into the vibration so that you can feel it. So go ahead and uncross your arms and legs and just begin to breathe deeply and be open and receptive. I really want to clean your spiritual cord for this healing so that you can pull in more energy and express it the way that your soul chose to express it on this journey. Just flooding you with beautiful healing energy. And I'm also going to do some shields. Okay, and so it is. And if you can, after that healing and just listen to this podcast, just take a few moments to really reacquaint yourself with your higher vision and listen to your guidance about how you can go about executing that vision. How can you serve? How can you use your gifts and talents to uplift the planet? It's important. So thank you to everyone who's left me a review. I appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, you can do that on blendedinsight.com. Also, it's a full moon, so do something for yourself. I will post a link to my Reiki for the full moon healing down in the show notes. I wish you a beautiful week. Stay focused and grounded and know that you've got all my love and I appreciate you. I send you healing during my meditations. Take care. Bye-bye.